into those moments where you feel like you just need to change something and you just want to improve something in your life and you might just need a bit of a push in the right direction, well, today I have 5 things that I wanted to share with you, things that I have been thinking about over the last little while that are things I think could be very easily to implement into your life over, say, the next few months, especially before the end of the year. I'm gonna jump straight into it with the first one being set 3 new goals by the end of the year. So what I did the other day actually was I sat down and I went through all of the goals that I had listed for this year, the things that I have already worked on and some of the things I've already achieved, and also the rest of the list that's still just sitting there. And I had a little bit of a look over it, I analyzed some of the things, and I picked out what I felt were the 3 most important ones, the 3 things that I wanted to work on before the end of the year, and I rewrote them. I wrote them in a bit of a different way, I took a little bit of a different approach to them, and since doing so, I found this new level of motivation to actually want to achieve them. It got to a point where I just felt that I had 0 motivation, I wasn't passionate, I wasn't interested in doing any of those things. But since, you know, stepping back a little bit the other day and just going, what are 3 new things I can do? The 3 goals don't have to come from your list either. I actually have one new entire goal that was not on my list before. It was sort of on my list. I reworded something and changed it around and put it in a new direction. And since doing so, I just have so much more motivation and a drive to want to work on these things. So please do this. Let me know in the comments below if you found it helpful and that it did give you a little boost in motivation. The second thing is to try something new. I'm all about trying new things, learning new skills, or consuming different bits of knowledge. And one of the most important things that I have learned in my life is that if you keep doing the same thing again and again and again, then you will always get the same thing again and again and again. In order to create change in your life, you need to try something new and do something different, and that is where I feel like change starts. So if you are craving change or craving a new direction, then learn something new. Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. I've worked with them many times before, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what they do. So Skillshare is an online learning community. They have thousands of classes covering heaps and heaps of different topics that can be from creativity to business, all things that could be really helpful in different areas of your life. Maybe you need to learn something a little bit more that could help your career, or maybe you want to expand your creative skills on something specific, or you just want to learn something new. I think Skillshare is a great tool to be able to help push you in a new direction, or at least give you the skills and the information to be able to further yourself in a direction or a path that you may already be on. I talk a lot about productivity on my channel, and I've recently been going through some productivity classes on Skillshare because there are plenty there. One in particular is actually from a guy that is also a YouTuber, and he talks a lot about productivity. He also talks a lot about studying and university and college, so that might be helpful for anyone who is at that point. And I will leave it linked in the description, the one that I am talking about, but he goes through a whole series of digital tools, and I, over the last couple of months, have been looking more into digital for my productivity. I actually use a couple of these apps that he goes through, and I've just found it very helpful in boosting my motivation and giving me a better idea on how I can work with what I need to be the most productive. Skillshare is pretty affordable. A yearly subscription will come in at less than $10 per month, and because Skillshare is sponsoring this video, I will have a link in the description where if you sign up, you can get a 2-month free trial. As I was saying, I think Skillshare is a really great way to learn some new skills to put you in a new direction, but the most important part is if you want change, then you have to do something different in order to get that change. The third thing follows on a little bit, and I know I've talked about this a lot recently, but it is something that I have realized in 2019 that is absolutely essential for good mental health and well-being, and that is having hobbies. Again, something that you are interested in terms of a hobby could be helped through learning more skills through Skillshare, but it's just so important to have hobbies. It's so important to have an outlet that is something that you can break away from the daily life and the rest of the world and focus your energy into in a really positive manner that's going to feed your soul and make you feel really, really good. If you don't have hobbies, please, I would suggest start looking into something to be able to take your mind off the regular world. And if you do have any great hobbies, please leave them in the comment section down below. I'm always looking for new things that I could try and have as a part of my downtime and my me time. The fourth thing I wanted to talk about is pretty deep, and that is having a little bit of a self-evaluation and really focusing on your self-awareness. It's a very difficult thing to do, to actually reflect on who you are as a person and dig a little bit deeper, but I find that when you break away and you actually are truly honest with yourself, it can really hurt, but it can also be incredibly liberating, and it can really shed anything that has been weighing on you, and it can give you a great new direction. I've just been trying to work through a few things myself, and when I sat down and was truly honest with myself, it was just absolutely incredible, the outcome and the new ideas and the creativity that stemmed from that. So if you've got things that are bothering you or emotions that you haven't really been acknowledging, I would say, while it's really hard, just do it. Just acknowledge them, accept them, and then you can move on from them. So having a bit of self-reflecting, I think, is very important, and it's a great time to do it now before the end of the year, so you're not carrying too much over into 2020. Then the last thing that's always really helpful is writing lists. I mean, like writing 1 million lists. I personally feel that a lot of my thoughts are just, you know, running around in my brain. They're just jumbled around, and when I really want to be able to see things with a little bit more clarity, I write it out in a list, and I've been doing this almost for everything in my life right now. And it doesn't have to be necessarily negative things that you want to change or improve. There could be things that you're acknowledging in the terms of gratitude, like maybe you want to make a list about all the things that you love about your family or your friends, or maybe you want to work on some goals, or you have a big to-do list of things that you've just been putting off, or maybe there's something that's been left unsaid and you want to have a conversation with someone, and so you can just write all of that down. Lists are amazing, and I've been making so many recently because I'm just trying to harness the last part of the year in the best way that I can, and I hope that these 5 things have been helpful in helping you want to harness the rest of the year as well, and put you on a bit of a direction and get you from where you visioned your year going back in January. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. At the top here you can check out my last video. Down the bottom I'll leave a link to another one of my videos, and I will see you in the next one.